To ask questions as we are going through these resources today. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to use the Q&A function to post those to members of the peer care support team, and we will answer those as we go through. Okay. All right. Well, in that case, thanks again for coming along, and I am going to go ahead and turn things over to our peer career supporters.
Thank you, Samantha. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Career Toolkit live session. It will be presented by us peer career supporters, myself and my colleagues, Alice and Jessica. We hope you've been able to attend a few of the other events as part of what comes next, and we hope that you will find this session just as useful. So just to get us started off, a little bit about us. This is just the years that we're in and what degrees that we are studying. And feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn if you see us. And a little bit about the peer career support team. So if you already don't know, we tend to help students with anything related to their careers, whether it's figuring out what to do next or even preparing for a mock interview, setting up a mock interview with us so that you can prepare for your actual interview. And before we begin with all the resources, just a little note that the session slides are going to be here. You can scan the QR code so that you can follow along with us during the session. And my colleague will share a link in the chat so that you can access it in case the QR code doesn't work for you. You can ask us questions using the Q&A feature on Zoom, and we'll be addressing those questions every time we have a Q&A segment. Feel free to ask questions through the session or wait until the Q&A segment. Just to go back here, a little bit about the learning outcomes. So by the end of the session, we expect for you to be able to understand the different tools that are at your disposal and know when and how to use them for each stage of your career, from planning your career, finding opportunities, and also preparing for the roles that you want to secure. All right, so here's a little QR code for the first resource that we'll be looking at, which is called Prospects. And feel free to follow along live with us as we go through and navigate through the different tabs and features of this resource. Or you can just follow the session and feel free to explore the website at your own time. We'll just give you a few seconds to scan it. All right. So let's get started. So Prospects is a website and it's considered a career planning tool. There are many unique features to it, but some of the features that we will be discussing today it's not an exhaustive list. There are so much more that you could find out when you go to the actual website and navigate through the different features. But for now, we will be looking at the career planner and some details on further study and how you can sort of use this to figure out what you want to do in the future with your degree, even if you don't have an idea about it right now. So first of all, one of the most unique features that Prospects has is its career planner tool. So the career planner is a quiz that you take once you register on the website for free. It helps with sort of figuring out generally which career would be suited for you best. And the best part is that for each role and each career path that it recommends, there are so many details available, including further study if you are considering that in the future. So as you can see in the screenshot below, in the middle, you can look up different postgraduate courses. There is funding opportunities that you could pursue, a little bit on qualifications if your career needs that in order for you to progress. And another important feature is that it has a lot of information on roles that you would have never considered before. So I personally took the career planner quiz and I'm an engineering student, but I also found out that I could possibly become a detective or a firefighter, which is something that I've never considered before in the past, but I definitely found it very interesting to go through. And it's possible that you might find a niche role that you never thought about before, which would be perfectly suited to you. So that's one of the benefits of using Prospects to plan your career. Now, another important feature of prospects is called What Can I Do with My Degree? So, this is a section of the website where it allows you to understand the various roles that are related to your career, whether that's directly related or indirectly, and what skills or qualifications you would need in order to pursue them. For example, we'll take a look at a degree in the biomedical sciences. So, if any of you are pursuing this degree, you can see here that when you navigate to this part of the website, it talks a little bit about the different options that are there for you, which are directly related to your degree. For example, being a biomedical scientist or a microbiologist. And these are more common to you, and it is commonly known by students doing this degree. But there are also different roles where your degree would be useful because a skill that you acquire in one field can directly be transferred to another if you know how to transfer it. So, for example, if you are passionate about literature and writing and you have a degree in biomedical sciences, you could consider being a science writer, which is a also another niche role, but it might be perfectly suited for you. One of the benefits of using this is the fact that everything is organized very well. There are different sections, job options, work experience that you would need. There are also employer profiles, which highlight who your typical employers will be for a particular role and any skills that you would need or further study and what graduates have done in the past, a little bit on statistics if you're concerned about that. And the best part is everything on the website is mostly hyperlinked. So you can see that everything in pink goes to a job profile for the particular role. So if you're interested in looking at what a toxicologist would do, you would just click on that link there. And it applies for everything else as well. Another feature that is unique to prospects, I wouldn't say unique, but it is most commonly used, would be the job and employer profiles. There are detailed profiles on the different roles, just like we discussed earlier, and you can use this to research on how to develop your skills for you to progress in your career. So, for example, if you're looking at a financial risk analyst role and you want to learn more about it, you would go to the job profile section of the website and navigate through this list and find the role. And you can see that on this profile, it's also sectioned very neatly. You've got details on responsibilities, salary, if that's something you're looking at, qualifications, skills. If you're also looking at work-life balance, there's some details on that as well, which could be very useful for you. And one of the best features I would say is the professional development section. So a lot of times students might not know that in order to obtain a particular role, you need certain qualifications to get there. So, for example, to become a chartered accountant, you would need to do several exams and get qualifications. This is where the professional development section is really useful for you. So, you can see all the different things that you would need to gain and all the qualifications you need so that you can become a financial risk analyst and also upskill. So that's all we have to say about prospects. But of course, there are many more things that you could do with it. But before we proceed, are there any questions that you have?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, so I was one important thing for international students is visa sponsorship. That website has any options to search for jobs which have visa sponsorships?
So the website will generally have the requirements based on, I believe it is based on location. They have a section called related graduate roles where you can see the different roles that are available. What you could do is when you click on that role, you'll be able to see what sort of visa sponsorship is needed. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you can feel free to pop in more questions using the Q&A feature, but we will be moving forward and I'll hand over to my colleague Alice for the next resource.
Thank you very much, Benita. So the second resource that we have in our careers toolkit is called the Student Opportunities Hub. So there's a QR code there if you'd like to scan that. Sorry. Just to follow along, have a little look yourself, see what kind of things are available, as I'll be talking a little bit more about what's involved. So I'll just give you a few seconds to scan that if you like. And okay, so a little bit about the Student Opportunities Hub. We sort of class this as a job finding tool that's provided by the University of Glasgow. So in comparison to the other resources you might find, maybe they're more that we're presenting today. Those are to do a bit more with preparation and maybe with career planning, whereas you'll be able to find some more opportunities on this. So you can find things such as graduate schemes, volunteering, internships and part-time roles on and off campus. So if you can see in that purple box on the left-hand side of that screenshot that I took, on search all opportunities and vacancies, you'll be able to filter out different selections. So as you can see on the left photo, there's a list of different options whether you can filter out and choose your preferences. Under opportunity and vacancy type, you'll be able to pick out graduate scheme, volunteering, internships, anything like that, which is a very, very useful tool. So if there's a specific location that you prefer, specific sector you prefer, you can have a little play with your preferences. As you can see on the yellow box next to that, that says the Student Opportunities Hub. Now, this is where you can find paid part-time jobs and internships on and off campus. And the way that this is different is that you can find, obviously, part-time jobs and internships on campus in comparison to other resources. So, for example, our peer career supporter role, this was presented on the Student Opportunities Hub as a on-campus internship. So again, you'll be able to go through here. You can play with the filters. If there's a specific role that you might prefer, you can have a little play with that. And through the Student Opportunities Hub, you'll also be able to find SRC volunteering at the bottom. So they advertise all sorts of different things, a lot of external charities, and if volunteering is something that you'd like or that you're interested in, you can definitely have a look at that. And it's just an easy way to get a bit of work experience. Next to that, as you can see, you can browse and register for events. So there are events that are held on campus at the University of Glasgow or online, and this can be either held by the University of Glasgow or by external organisations. So for example, this masterclass or any of the other masterclasses that we have, those are available on this portal. You can find other masterclasses we do, such as building your LinkedIn profile, building your employability. And also there's external organizations. I'll give you an example in the next slide, just where you can get a little bit of information about some external employers and maybe network a little bit. Also, you can find international opportunities. So this can be summer schools, this can be international work experiences. If you would like to learn a new language, practice a language, or maybe travel a little bit, it can be a very good opportunity for you. So again, you can play with the filter tool. If you go through the portal on the bottom left-hand corner, explore a range of international opportunities, you'll be able to have a look at what kind of things are available. And finally, because this resource is provided by the University of Glasgow, you can also book career coaching appointments. So as you can see in the bottom two right icons there are portals to book your own career coaching appointments. This is just to basically be able to get some career help, some career advice, and basically we're here to help you with that. I'm just going to the next slide. Okay, so these are just some screenshots that I found through the portals here. So as you can see in the top left-hand corner, you can see the summer program that's in Vancouver for the College of Arts and Humanities. So this is basically just a summer school that's in Vancouver. And in the one below that, as you can see, there's a summer camp council in the USA. So this is a type of international work-based learning. So those two opportunities are found through the International Opportunities portal that you'll be able to find. And this is not only just limited to the USA or Canada or anything like that, there's also opportunities all across the world. So I also saw an option that was in Korea. So if you would like to maybe go to like another country or anything like that, that's something that you can definitely check out. There's also the graduate research assistant that I found through the Search All Opportunities and Vacancies portal through my filter selection. Also on the right-hand side, there's the Manpower Employer pop-up that was on the local events. So on the 11th of February, they're coming over to the JMS, talking a little bit about paid graduate opportunities. So if that's something that you're interested in to learn a little bit more about graduate opportunities and what's out there, you can definitely check out the local events page and see what kind of things they're offering. And lastly, there's just a student media intern opportunity that's available on campus. So that's just an example of an internship that I found. If I can just skip to the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so finally, I'd just like to talk a little bit about the support that is available for career planning and career support. So as a peer career support team, we provide 20-minute sessions to help you out with CVs and applications, job searching, researching employers, and LinkedIn. So you can either drop in, which does not require any booking. We are available in the Career Studio on level 2 of the Fraser Building between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday till Friday during term time. At the moment, there's quite a lot of construction in the Fraser Building, so we are currently located in Pod 2. You'll be able to see a little sign there that says that the peer career support team is available. And you can also book online between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. between Monday till Friday. Lastly, there's the career coaching. So this is a little bit more in depth. There are 45-minute sessions to help you with long-term career planning and in-depth professional guidance with your professional development. So this is with a member of the student professional development team. The appointments are released between 6 p.m. daily up to 1 week in advance, and they're available from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday till Friday in person or online. So that's just to give you a little bit of an idea of what the type of support is available in the University of Glasgow. So that should be it for me. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. You can pop them in chats or in the Q&A feature. If there aren't any questions, I think I'll just go ahead and hand it over to my colleague Jessica, who'll talk a little bit about the next career resource that we have. Oh, sorry, someone's just asked a question. So someone just asked, are these services available to graduates too? So I think if someone could confirm this, I think it's available for up to 2 years after you've graduated. There is a way that you'll be able to, yeah, there is a way that as a graduate you'll be able to sign up for a specific type of service, as it's not directly through the student portal. Yeah, I hope that
Yeah.
answers your question.
It's valid for up to 2 years. You can access it. You'll be given a separate graduate login. So
Yeah, so someone else asked how to get peer career support and career coaching. So as I mentioned before, in the Student Opportunities Hub, there's portals to get to the peer career support. I'll just go back to the slides. I'm not able to, but there are portals on the Student Opportunities Hub where you'll be able to access the peer career support and the career coaching. So if you go on there, you'll be able to click on that, and on there you'll be able to either click online booking appointments for peer career support or in-person or online career coaching appointments. There's a link in chat. Also, you can also drop into the career studio to get peer career support help in the Fraser Building in the level 2, if that's of any help. No problem. Okay, if that's all the questions, I think I'll hand it over to Jessica, who'll just talk a little bit more about the next resource that we have.
Thank you so much, Alice and Benita. Now we're going to basically be having a look at graduates first. Sorry, can we move to the next? Sorry, thank you. Okay, so as my colleagues had mentioned, you can always scan the QR code, or I can even post a link on so that you can follow along. Yeah, I'll just give you guys a second to do that. Okay. Perfect. Um, sorry if we can move to the next slide, thanks. Okay, so Gratis First, as I like to call it, is a practice and preparation platform. It's very, very helpful because, as you see in the next few minutes, you basically can practice for your assessments using your assessment, your practice assessment test. You can practice for interviews and so on and so forth. It's really, really helpful, and it also has quite a number um, of sorry, it has a number of employer um, guides where you can basically get a look into, various of like the different steps of application for the different employers. And yeah, it can be really, really helpful. Next slide, please. Yeah, so as I mentioned, there are a lot of employer job application guides. As you can see, so many employers are already here, a lot of popular employers. And the beauty of this is that if you're applying for any of these employers, you get a head start and you get a look into how exactly um their application process will look like, the different types of tests that you would be expected to go through. And obviously, Graduates First has, practice tests for each of those assessment tests. Next slide, please. Thank you. So this is just like a few examples of the different types of tests they have. There is a coding test, there's a situational judgment test. Um, if I go straight to the app, I just want to give you guys a clearer view, and I click practice, you can see that there is a spelling and grammar test, there's a Watson Glaser test, there's a numerical verbal test, and most of these tests don't just have one, they have multiple, and you can also track your progress in terms of what you're scoring and so on and so forth. If I go to home and I scroll down a bit, this is the application guides I was showing you. And if I use an example, let's say Goldman Sachs, for example, if you want to go into the financial side of things, if you scroll a little bit, you would see it has each step on what you would expect in the application process. First, filling on the online application, the tests, a mock interview. More interestingly, they really go into depth about on what the company is about, their values, which is very, very important for you to understand if you would like to fill in the forms or do the interview, because obviously you want to show that you've done your research and you really know the company that you're applying to. Um, yeah, and then they go a bit more into depth about how each assessment is going to look like. For example, this is an example of a numerical reasoning question, which obviously Goldman Sachs is going to ask you if you go into if you decide to apply to them. Yes, aside from that, there is also an opportunity to do a video interview, well, at least a practice video interview. And I find this feature so lovely because you can basically practice questions based on their unique type. You have competency-based questions, strength-based questions, you have industry tailored questions, and you also have employer tailored questions. That is questions that these particular type of employers are most likely to ask depending on what they do and what they expect from their applicants. So I will encourage you guys to explore this feature a bit more. I did basically put what I spoke about on the PowerPoints just for you to reference on your own at your own time if you would like. But yeah, that's it on Graduates First. Does anyone have any question? You can pop it in the chat box or in the Q&A sector. Sorry. Okay. Seeing as there are no questions for now, I'm just going to hand over back to my colleague Alice. Oh, okay, perfect. I see a question. They no longer have access to a uni email address. When it depends, like it depends on when you graduated. As we mentioned, you do have access to all the university's resources 2 years after graduation. So if you're recent, unfortunately, there is no way to use the personal email address, I believe. You have to, because if you're accessing the websites through the platform, then you should be able to, so you would have to use the university's email address. Um, but if you don't have access, if we strongly believe that you still don't have access to the university's email address, I think it's something worth taking up with the student services to give you guidance on how that goes. But you should have access to you should have access to the email address and the services 2 years after graduation. I believe I'm right. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions or any more questions? And I do hope I answered your question. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we are sort of running out of time, and I did want to mention these two further resources, but I will just try and mention them really, really briefly instead. So first of all, we've got Bright Network. This is a little bit like Prospects. So this is just another resource that you can have a look at, where you can find graduate jobs, internships, placements, and also access some career advice. So this is where you can find career path tests, figure out what the different types of options are, and maybe some CV advice as well. So this is just another option if you want a bit of variety in terms of resource. The other option is Target Jobs. So I really like this because it gives you different types of advice and articles on what you can do in interviews and CVs and things like that. So the screenshot I took on the right-hand side, this is a section of the advice, and you basically, if you go through interviews, one example that I really, really like of an article is top 9 tricky questions that they ask in an interview, or what to wear in an interview. And I found this really helpful because, it's not something that you typically see on other resources. So this is just another option for a resource. If we can just go to the next slide. And then very, very briefly, I just wanted to mention that Target Jobs does an undergraduate award as well. So every January, the deadline finishes. And basically, there are different types of options for different sectors, different companies lead the different types of awards. For example, as you can see, the Engineering Undergraduate of the Year award is with the BAE Systems. So if you send in an application, talk about why you feel like you deserve that award. You can get opportunities such as gaining internships, networking opportunities, you can win prizes, and you can also gain mentoring with those specific companies as well. So that's it from me. I'm just wondering if anybody has any questions as we wrap up. So if there are any other questions, you can still send them in the chat. But finally, I'd just like to show you a QR code just to be able to get some feedback. So this is about the session and the wider event as a whole. If you scan the QR code, you will have the chance to win a £30 Love to Shop e-voucher. And any sort of feedback, negative or positive, is more than welcome. So we will appreciate anything that you send. So thank you very much. That is the end of our masterclass. If you have any more questions, you can always pop down to the Fraser Building and talk a little bit more with the peer career support team or any of our colleagues as well. So thank you very much.